You've heard plenty of stories of hackers stealing massive amounts of data from corporations and governments all over the world. But what do hackers actually do with this data? Why do they want it? It's actually pretty simple when you take some time to think about it. They want this data for the same reason that governments and major corporations want it, because your data is extremely valuable. This is why so many applications, websites, and even social media are free to use. You see, if there wasn't any sign-up fee or some other way of these services generating revenue, then the businesses like Facebook, Twitter, and Google, they would just be massive money fires since they have to spend so much money on infrastructure, electricity, and their employees to keep the thing running. The business model of these companies is that you trade your data for their services. By using the data that they collect from you, they are able to show you targeted ads that companies pay for. And these targeted ads are much more valuable to these companies selling their products and services than traditional ads like billboards and TV commercials. Because, for example, a vegan is probably never going to get a Facebook ad for a new steak restaurant. They wouldn't be interested in that. Or a retired Vietnam veteran is probably never going to get an ad for a prom dress. Now, Facebook and Google allegedly don't sell any of your personal data directly to third parties. Rather, they keep that information for themselves so that they can make their targeted advertising platform work and thus be more valuable than the traditional ads. But what if a hacker, somebody who doesn't follow laws or morals, were to get this data? Well, they could make even more profit since they don't have to follow any of the laws about selling your data. They can do things like sell your credit card numbers directly on the deep web for Monero or some other high privacy cryptocurrency. They could sell your nudes to coomers all over the world who want something more exclusive because for whatever reason they aren't satisfied with the 1,000 of exabytes of porn that already exist on the internet. Or they could use some of your personal information, like your social security number, to steal your identity and commit all kinds of identity fraud. And identity theft and fraud by itself is an industry that makes over $16 billion per year. And this is what a black hat hacker would do, since typically the motive behind their actions is to make money. But what about a hacktivist? What about somebody who's not really interested in money? They're just interested in watching things burn. Well, your data could be very valuable to them if you were, for example, a politician, an important businessman, or just somebody who abused a cat on the internet. Because, of course, cats rule the internet, and if you abuse one, the cat is going to get justice, you will be doxxed, and your life will be ruined. Or if your dad arranges for you to get paid millions of dollars by a Ukrainian oil company and you use that money to buy drugs and prostitutes and document your drug use and weird pictures of you in jean jackets on your computer, those photos might get released for everyone to look at. Now, this data usually doesn't have much monetary value. It's usually not bought or sold, but this data could be used to affect events, like the DNC email leak affecting the election, or this kid that got doxxed causing him to stop abusing his cat. So instead of putting this data behind a crypto paywall like the black hats would, what the hacktivist will usually do is release this data in a way that as many people as possible will see it in a very public place. And they want people to then spread that information around even more. So they'll usually just publish it on 4chan or Imager if the data is images or video, or they'll put it on Pastebin if the relevant data is text. So how can you avoid your data getting stolen by a hacker? Well, for one, it's best to give up as little data as possible to as few people as possible. Don't document your every move on social media where anyone is going to be able to access it if there is a data breach. And practice good cybersecurity. Don't go opening up weird links that just appear in your email. And for God's sake, don't go documenting your degeneracy on your laptop and then send it to a repair shop to have it fixed.